Louis Tomlinson, jealous of Harry Styles' success? Hey guys, today we're going to talk about how Louis Tomlinson is jealous of Harry Styles' success. Let's get right into it. Louis Tomlinson's solo career is flourishing, but he isn't afraid to talk about his roots. The 30-year-old singer-songwriter rose to prominence as a member of the five-piece boy band One Direction, and in a new interview, he discussed everything from feeling envious of former bandmate Harry Styles to the possibility of a reunion. 2 days before the release of his second studio album, Faith in the Future, on November 11th, Tomlinson spoke candidly to Telegraph about how he used to feel when comparing his solo trajectory to that of Styles, who has released 3 #1 albums, scored 2 #1 singles, and toured stadiums around the world on multiple occasions since One Direction disbanded in 2015. The Back to You singer admitted of Styles' success, "I'd be lying if I said it didn't bother me at first." He then added, "Only cause I didn't know where to place myself, and really my only point of reference was other members of the band. But it's not surprising to me that Harry's the most commercially successful because he really fits the mold of a modern star." Tomlinson also pointed out Styles' blossoming career. The 28-year-old As It Was musician starred in 2 feature films just this year, Olivia Wilde's Don't Worry Darling and Michael Grandage's My Policeman. He said, "He's not just doing music, he's got film as well. And the tour he's done is unbelievable." Tomlinson then added to the UK publication, "It took me a while to work out where I stand, but as singular as Styles' accomplishments are," Tomlinson said he feels proud of his former bandmate. He said, "I look on Harry like a brother, man," adding, "I have a lot of pride for what he's doing." For years, the public has grouped Styles and Tomlinson together, even when both were members of a band with Niall Horan, Zayn Malik, and Liam Payne. The two became the focus of an internet obsession, with the idea of them being a romantic couple, often referred to as Larry Stylinson, a combination of their names. And the resulting theories and fan art became so widespread that recreations of it were once featured in a graphically sexual sequence on HBO's Euphoria. He said, also speaking of the upcoming Anne Hathaway-led film adaptation of The Idea of You, a piece of One Direction fanfiction, "It's weird, all that shit." He then added, "But there's not much you can do about it. I'd rather they didn't, but it is what it is. I won't be watching it." Despite everything they've been going through together, whether it's social media feuds or the occasional airing of dirty laundry, Tomlinson claims he and his 1D bandmates are on good terms these days. He said, "I'm sure the lads will text me when the album comes out. We check in on each other. They're good like that." Louis Tomlinson has been getting a lot of nerve lately to speak his truth. Louis Tomlinson appeared on Smallzy's Surgery podcast on July 25th, aka the 12th year anniversary since One Direction was formed, on The X Factor, and shared his thoughts on the band's earlier tracks. Louis, who's released solo projects and even went on to become a judge on The X Factor after his time in One Direction, said, "12 years ago today, the band got formed, but the first album was shit anyway." He then added, "There's still pressure obviously for me to deliver a good record, and me trying to find my feet coming out of a band as big as One Direction." One Direction's debut album, Up All Night, catapulted the boys into superstardom and a successful US crossover in 2011. During this time period, One Direction produced hits such as Moments and What Makes You Beautiful, which Harry still performs today, and the album debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200 chart. Each of the One Direction boys also has writing credits on Up All Night tracks Taken, Same Mistakes, and Everything About You, and they have since gone on to write more songs and release 4 more albums as a group: Take Me Home, Midnight Memories, 4, and Made in the AM. Up All Night continues to be a nostalgic fan favourite, and we will be singing our hearts out to the bridge of Taken, despite Louis' hot take on the album. Louis Tomlinson also added to the drama of Liam Payne. Almost 2 months after One Direction member Liam Payne made some highly contentious claims about his former bandmates on Logan Paul's podcast, Impulsive, Louis Tomlinson is speaking out about the alleged drama. ICYMI, Louis was one of the band members mentioned by Liam in his interview, claiming that they hated each other while in the group but are now best mates. He also claimed that Louis was wild and that during one argument he threw Liam up against a wall. Louis did not respond to the allegations, but when asked about the bit of 1D beef during an interview with Australian talk show The Project, he insisted that there is no drama between them. He said, "No, listen, I'm immensely proud. As I know Liam is. I'm immensely proud of those days, obviously. I mean, you know, it was an incredible thing to do, and especially at such a young age. Amazing memories, man. Amazing memories." When it came to the possibility of a One Direction reunion, however, Tomlinson wasn't so sure, though he definitely hasn't ruled one out. That's all for today, and we'll be sure to catch you all in the next one.